Hello, friends. Welcome. Come in, take a seat, enjoy the conversation today. My name is NeMina, and welcome to another video on this YouTube channel. So, in today's video, we are going to do a little bit of discussion about the upcoming new moon. We're going to pull some cards and just hold space for this energy. The intention is just to share some of the correspondences, alignments, and messages from Spirit, so that way you can take what resonates and leave behind what does not as you traverse this upcoming new moon. So as always, I would like to reference a couple different resources for some of my moon magic shenanigans. What I'm going to be referencing today is my Witch's Date Book from Llewellyn. I reference this a lot. I've tried other date books, and this is a go-to one that I purchase every year. So we have the upcoming new moon happening on October 21st. That's a Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday. The moon is going to be at its 0% at 8:25 a.m. Eastern time. So that'll be 7:25 a.m. Central time where I am. So of course, translate that to your specific time zone. The new moon is going to be in the sign of Libra, just a sneeze before we go into Scorpio. So the sun will be transitioning and entering Scorpio the very next day. So this is kind of our last hurrah in this beautiful Libra season that we had just after the autumn equinox. During this new moon is going to be, like I mentioned, in the sign of Libra. When we move into autumnal equinox space, it's very similar to spring equinox space, where in the equinoxes we are equal balance of daytime and nighttime. And then the days start getting shorter as we wind the year down up until the winter solstice. So just like in the equinox we had equal light and darkness, so too does this reflect within our own inner souls with what is illuminated and what is shadow. And so what we want to bring in, what we want to release. So this sort of energy of balance and harmony, fairness, and synergy is some of what we see within the sign of Libra. Libra rules the Justice card within the tarot, so we could see some sort of energy of justice and fairness coming into play within our own lives, internally as well as externally. And so with the new moon in Libra, just before we go into Scorpio, we are in a beautiful invitation to bring into harmony our mental and emotional bodies. And we would want to look into which ways we can find balance in our own lives. We do have Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus still in retrograde during the time of this upcoming new moon. A lot of these energies are very big planet energies. So very deep potential healing could be had during this time. New moons are always great energies to focus on the planting of the seed. What would you like to start? What would you like to embark on? For me, with this upcoming new moon, I am spending a lot of time holding space for a lot of goals that I want to accomplish by the time I turn 40. So I am 38 at the time of recording this video. And I've just calculated how many days it'll be from now until I'm 40. And I'm really trying to accomplish a lot of my goals. So that way I look at my life and I think of it like it's a dream life by the time I hit my 40s. That's a big goal that I have. And I'm going to be sharing those conversations on this channel as well. So this channel has a myriad of conversations, from the magical, the mystical, the woo, the healing, to very practical goal setting and personal empowerment conversations. So if any of those subjects are ones that you would be interested in, then of course I invite you to subscribe to this channel, so that way you can see videos as they get uploaded. All right, so we have a tarot deck already here with us. I will make sure to link the deck that I'm using in that description below, as well as any which way to get a hold of me further. All of the pertinent information, of course, will be down in that description box. But I'm going to just shuffle these cards, and we are going to pull a few cards just to get the energy from Spirit as far as what we are aligned with, both collectively and specifically to those who encounter this video. So, you know, collective energy, but also very funneled and focused energy for those of you who find your way to this video today. I want to share that I have been starting to embark in a different course within the shamanic realm. So I've been a practicing magic worker for 20 years, and this year I just barely recently decided to focus my studies in the realm of shamanic journeying, and it has been such a insightful, safe, powerful experiment that I feel like it's going to influence and add a deeper level to the divination and the different capacities within my magical life and mindset. I feel like it's going to impact it greatly. And so that's just giving it permission to come forth in these messages as well. All right, so some energies for us to focus on during this new moon time. We have the Knight of Swords showing up here. Knight of Swords. Very pertinent, very aligned and relevant to the energy of a new moon in Libra. This is urging us and inviting us to spend some time in a state of pondering, to listen to the messages from the universe, from the spirit world, and to acknowledge their presence and existence. One of the greatest powers that we have is our ability to access our intuition, to access the deeper realms and the collective mind, the mind of all, in order to have a deeper understanding of our place within the universe, to get a bigger perspective on our place within society, and to start taking actions on what we have felt called to do. So I'm feeling like there have been messages that have been creeping up into your life for ways that you want to show up in the world. It could be very big shifts, it could be really small shifts, but for whatever reason, there has been delays in putting a plan into place. This could look very simple as far as, you know, actually adding it to the calendar to say this goal, this aspiration, this dream that I have, I want it to manifest. I want it to come to pass. And so how can I take this idea and anchor it into reality by taking necessary steps in order for that to happen? We also have the Four of Swords here. Initially, this card was reversed when I pulled it. So it can go either way here. For some of us, a big meditation and journey that day could be very beneficial to really connect us directly with our higher self and our guides and teachers as we are navigating this last quarter of the year. Alternatively, if you have been somebody who has been a state of pause, if you have been waiting for that sign, waiting for some external event to happen before you start to embark on those steps towards manifesting your goals and what's next for you, this is your invitation to say, it's time to wake up. It's time to release that state of pause and to start moving into planning and taking more action. But both of these cards so far are very mental based. So listen for any messages, pay attention to any signs and synchronicities. It's not going to be super impactful and major as far as like, catastrophic or hugely impactful, but usually it's more of like a whisper, a wisp, a nudge, an inkling, and so we have to be in a state of awareness and presence and curiosity in order for us to catch these whispers from the universe. We also have the Nine of Wands as a potential card to focus on during this new moon. This is for those of you who have already been doing a lot of work in the direction of your goals. And this invitation is an invitation to emerge from your cocoon and start to shine in your power, your presence, and what you are guided and meant to do in this incarnation. Perhaps you have been waiting to let your light shine to the world. Perhaps you have been holding off on presenting that idea or really stepping into your sovereignty, authority, and power within certain aspects of your life. And this new moon is an invitation to do just that. With the Nine of Wands, it's an energy where we realize that we are so close to our destination. We are able to begin to share our wealth of knowledge. It's also a card that gives us sanctity and security, protection, to know that our spirit team is all around us, protecting and guiding us on our journey. So for some of you, this new moon might be a great time to reassure and nurture within yourself the message that you are safeguarded along your path and journey, and to sink into that and trust that, so that way you can more freely move in the direction of where you feel called. Now, an energy to focus on releasing during this time, we actually have the Eight of Pentacles. So with the Eight of Pentacles, this is an energy that really focuses on fine-tuning and perfecting certain goals and processes in our life. This could be relating to something with work. This could be relating to something within your home life. This also could be relating to how you approach your goals, your dreams, and maybe how you are looking at yourself. If you are waiting until everything is perfectly lined up and you have achieved everything within your own external reality before you really start to step into your power and purpose, this is saying that it's time to release that. You don't need to wait for everything to be perfectly aligned before you start moving in the direction of your goals. And that is actually, it could be a scapegoat or an excuse in order to stay where you currently are instead of challenging yourself to begin to move forward. So Spirit is letting us know that trust in your goals, trust in your ambition, trust in your team and your journey, and don't get too stuck in the brass taxes and the physical manifestation of the thing, or don't get too stuck on looking for divine timing and signs, as we mentioned earlier. Sometimes it can be a very small whisper or nudge, and it's not this huge grand gesture. Spirit is saying that you're ready. And so it's time to start embarking on putting a plan into action. We also have the Five of Cups in reverse as an energy to focus on releasing during this new moon. This, being a water card, is going to connect us into the energy of Scorpio as we move into that energy as well. And so with the Five of Cups, we definitely see that this card sometimes reflects perhaps certain pessimistic or victim energies that we have within ourselves. It also could point to emotional loss taking over our well-being in that body. And due to this being a reversal energy, it's really highlighting that this needs to be very much addressed because it's currently out of balance and might be presenting itself as a roadblocker in your life. And so releasing any sort of victim mentality, releasing any sort of emotional bondage around the heart space. You could be lamenting certain energies within your life, that are emotional based, feeling betrayed, feeling isolated, feeling lonely. So what feelings have been a regular repeater in your life, in your heart, in the stories you tell yourself that are around any sort of disempowerment or victim mentality or loss, lower emotional energies that we can start to focus on bringing up and out and helping us to release and remove them. And lastly, we have the Six of Swords here reversed as an energy to focus on releasing. This one hits hard for me, hard, because this one is talking about the energies of releasing what no longer serves and moving into a different area that is more aligned. Some of us can get addicted to the act of running away or releasing energies from our life that are not for our highest good. This can be where we're so focused on pointing out external red flags in other people or environments or situations that we're actually using it as a way not to look within. And so in this energy with the Six of Swords in reverse, there is nothing to run away from at this time. This is the time to sink in. This is the time to do the work. This is the time to trust yourself and to start moving forward with what you are called to do. And so if you have been somebody that has struggled and have just found a lot of things in your external world that kind of solidifies that it's not safe, that it's not secure, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy or confirmation bias. When you're looking for signs of things not being safe, when you're looking for signs that you can't trust, when you're looking for those red flags, we want to be mindful that we're not looking for them so much that they're all we see. And we're not actually seeing opportunity or love or peace or success within our lives. We're not looking within ourselves because we're so focused on looking at everything external from us. So that is an energy to focus on releasing during this time, in whatever capacity works for you. Now, lastly, an energy to focus on bringing in. What we have here is the Magician. Huge energy coming in, and I love the signs of balance that we see within the Magician card. This one was also in reverse. And so what I take that to mean is the Magician within more than the Magician without. We are inviting you to start to bring in your power. Pull in the energy and the guidance and the messages of the elements and the animal kingdom and the spirit world and your guides, gods and guardians and ancestors and whoever is in your spirit team that is here to guide you on this journey. Invite them in. This is an invitation. Most energies, unless it's a severe situation, aren't going to insert themselves into your life without invitation. So always remember to invite these energies in if you are open and welcoming to their messages to you. The Magician card is also one of learning. So within this card, where all the elements and all the suits are, also being a major arcana card, we want to focus on bringing our power back, reawakening and rediscovering who we are in our essence and in our core. And sometimes it's so easy to lose sight of this between the hustle and bustle of the everyday 3D reality or the trauma and pain that we see on the news all the time. We might be surrounded by a lot of really negative voices in our life. And so it might be hard for us to shine bright or for us to feel safe to hold space. But focusing on what to bring in within the Magician means that you have more power than you could possibly imagine. And you're capable of greater things than you knew possible. The only thing that limits us is ourselves. And so are you ready to start to release some of that limitation? That's the invitation during this time. Another energy to focus on bringing in is the Two of Swords in reverse. So the message here with this card is to start releasing those guards. You may have had a lot of shields up, a lot of guards put into place to protect you in some part of your life, and that was necessary at that time. But it might be time to reevaluate how much of that is still relevant and how much of it is just keeping everything at bay and everything in a distance where you're not open to allowing the good things to come in. Some of what we talk about with protection magic and the shields within our aura is to have these guards and shields in place where they act as more of a filter than a solid wall, because we want to allow what is good for us to flow into our lives and repel what is not, while also understanding that we learn through disruption. We learn through the contrast of discovering certain things within our lives that were not aligned for our betterment. And so sometimes it's all about perspective and looking at the greater picture of things and remembering that Earth is a school for us to experience and mostly to overcome and learn from that process. And part of that healing process is to release any chains, any cords, any shackles, any disempowering energies, any rips and tears and trauma and sludginess within our different bodies. So that way we can move through life without this anchor dragging us from experiences and people and events that have hurt us. We have to remember that it's not about us, and it never was. It was about them and their inability to do the right thing, whatever that looks like. So can we maybe focus on release and forgiveness during this time as we look to take our power back? And the last card that we have here as an energy to focus on bringing in is the Page of Wands. This is a childlike creativity. This is a message of passion, of excitement, of goals, of a journey. This speaks of like the hero's journey. This speaks of like a grand adventure. So the energy to focus on bringing in within the Page of Wands is to look for and be open to what you want your life to look like and how you are moving in the direction of those goals. And maybe what's one thing that you can do to start to put a plan into place, to start to be creative again, to be playful again, to be childlike in your wonder and curiosity, to follow your heart, to follow your bliss, to embark on an adventure, even if that means going solo. So a lot of these energies are very, very beautiful, very nurturing, very powerful, and it's a great invitation for us during this new moon time. Now, while I was sharing the messages that I was getting from these cards, as the observer, you may have been receiving additional messages, and that could be fine-tuning how it is relevant for you in your life, or you might also be a reader that was receiving messages and for the collective. So of course, I invite you to share any thoughts, questions, ideas, or takeaways that you receive from this conversation today down in that comment section below. As always, please take what resonates and leave what does not. I share everything exactly as it comes through, and it is both of our duties as the reader and the querent to accept what resonates for us. And remember that we still are the decider and the captain of the ship of our life. So thank you so much for joining me for this video today. I am wishing you all of the encouragement, power, success, release, and whatever you need. I am sending all of that good energy over to you at this time. Stay wild and spooky, but of course stay magical mostly. This is NeMina, and I will see you again next time. Until then, take care.